Yeah, I'm gonna sit down, I gotta explain this to me.
The pay scale? Is that what you're pleading with? I don't know what you're looking at.
Yes. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, if there's ever a reduction, do they reduce everybody? Would that be acceptable? I didn't think so.
Especially today, yeah. Yeah, we're still a little sensitive times.
Just,
Yeah.
Mike's not on yet.
Yeah.
I won't bring it to
Is there any
your
public comment that you don't hear yet?
Online.
Okay.
No, and the executive sessions.
After yesterday's newspaper, there'd be plenty of people waiting.
They're paying that for McDonald's, up in
Yeah, that's why we do them secret. I didn't say that. I did not say that. One other note too is the chief is here because sheriff is down at the academy.
I stopped up.
There are several items. He apologizes. He's gone over them with the chief and myself, and we'll try to answer, and Tony, and with as many questions as you have, but they should be pretty straightforward. It's really.
I was up in Fulton yesterday.
We ready?
Met with,
Yep.
Morning.
And,
We
yep, go ahead,
ready to
go ahead.
roll?
Yep, I got 9, go. Yep, thank you.
All right, 9 or 10. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am here remotely, and I appreciate the help of our team to bring together the County Commissioners meeting of August 6th, 2025. Just on a personal note, it's an important day for me because our youngest son was born this day. So a happy birthday to Gerald, and I will call the roll. Commissioner Trumbull.
here,
Commissioner Marshall.
here,
Mr. Treasurer.
here.
And the chair is here remotely. At this point, I would ask Commissioner Marshall if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we singing happy birthday? Is that what I heard? Oh, okay.
We don't need to go that far. Shockingly, I don't believe he watches every meeting. But today we will ask for approval of the minutes. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and the chair votes aye. Do we have anyone present for public comment on items that are not on the current agenda? We would allow up to 3 minutes. There'd be no discussion, but you're welcome to state your comments. Anyone in the room?
Nobody online, Tony? Nothing online, Chair.
Nothing online either. Okay, at this point then, we will close public comments and we will invite Director McDonald to come forward.
How'd you get first on the agenda?
Wow, you're right up here early, Brian.
Just noticed
You
that.
can get in, right?
All right, I got it. Is that a maintenance?
All right.
Sorry, I had to, but good response. Good response, yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Just an FYI, I've asked Commissioner Trumbull if he'd be kind enough to open any bids we may have in today's meeting.
All right, let's start with those.
Yep.
First bid is from Premier Fencing, Canton, Massachusetts. And their bid is $37,454.
Does it mention which option? We asked them to bid
Proposed cost, let's
price for
see.
the options.
Oh, I guess, oh, these is copies, okay. Proposed cost.
What was the question, Brian?
We asked people to give us a price for 3 different.
Oh, okay, well, inside that we've got, option 1 is $37,454. Option 2 is 22,810.50. And option 3 is 17,390. All right. So and then we got C.A. Newcomb of Carmel, Maine. And then option 1. We'll get to it, yeah. Oh, in the last
They
page.
probably stuck it on the last page, yeah.
Oh, just the middle form, okay. Here we go. Option 1, 35,380. Option 2, 19,314. Well, no, then they have the gate, so the total for option 2, actually 26,314. And option 3, actually, I gotta revise option 1 too. Option 1, they added gate prices in.
Okay.
So option 1 is actually 42,380. And option 3 is 20,630. So I guess we can take, I would say we take these under advisement to make sure that
Yep.
the gate options are the same on both of these.
I would check that.
Okay?
I would entertain a motion to take these under advisement.
Dave,
Moved?
second?
Motion second, further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, it is unanimous.
Yeah.
Next item would be the HVAC RFP.
So I don't know if we need any discussion or not, but I think we desperately need to do this work. The last several weeks, few months, even a slight change in the weather, today being a nice day, the days like today, I have to spend an hour or two at my computer making changes to set points in almost every room, every zone in this building. We've been spending a lot of money with electricians and our HVAC contractor just keeping the equipment in this building running. So I have spoken to him about the price, and he believes we can find room to lower that some, but it's nothing that he can identify right now, but he believes there'll be some cost savings once they start the work.
So commissioners, just to recall, we went out to RFP and they were brought back. The recommendation from Director McDonald was to go with mechanical. Mechanical's number, what I do remember is mechanical's number was somewhere just shy of like $75,000, $80,000 more than what we have currently in a budgeted plan for this. So Director McDonald and I talked, and Brian and I both agreed that in talking with mechanical that we could find ways, let's do the important stuff first and kind of pick these off. And if we need to find more funding, because we all know how this stuff goes, we can certainly look at options. But yeah, I agree with Brian. We need to do something like now.
Tanya is questions for the decision today.
Prepared to move on the RFP.
Oh, we have a question from Great Manager Dana.
I
Please.
just wanted to say that we do have that EECBG grant for just under 80,000 for the HVAC, so I don't want you to forget that.
Yep, which we should definitely try to spend that just as
Absolutely.
right in there, probably sooner than, and fit it within the ARPA, yeah, because we have more time with the ARPA. I don't know what the deadline is, but again, work with Brian, remind him, and keep in contact, and yeah, let's use those funds. Great thought, thank you.
Okay.
Is the grant for capital or can it be used for repairs?
It's for anything that has to do with the HVAC system, making it more energy efficient. It's an energy efficient grant.
Right, which I believe most of the parameters in the RFP will address.
Yeah,
Right,
it's an upgrade,
everything,
right?
I'm sorry?
It's an upgrade, I mean.
Absolutely, and not only technology, but efficiency.
Yeah.
The equipment we have now was, I'm not sure we could call it state-of-the-art at the time it was purchased, but it is not, certainly not the most efficient that's available today.
I guess, Brian, my only caveat would, we'll want to keep our old equipment for the museum to show people why you shouldn't wait as long to fix your.
Well, yeah, as long, where are we gonna build a museum?
I could use a boat anchor.
We move forward with the HVAC bid for mechanical services.
Second.
If you get cold, let me know. Kind of on manual, speaking of HVAC.
Okay. So, do we need action on this?
Yes,
Okay.
Motion made and seconded, Mr. Chairman.
So entertain that motion.
I moved and David seconded it.
yep.
Okay, thank you. Then further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous.
Yep, thank you.
Anything further, Mr. McDonald?
Not really, well, a little, we're moving ahead with the work on Franklin Street. Questions are due today. Joshua Tunick and I have been busy the last week or so answering several dozen questions that we have. We have already had one walkthrough for the DA space. We'll have another tomorrow. We have some electrical issues that are popped up in a couple of our buildings. We're trying to deal with that. You'll see eventually that line of my budget is deep red. It's just, the more we do work, the more we find that needs to be fixed. So, just things to keep in mind, and at the next meeting, I'll have a couple of requests. EMA wants to paint their offices, and after the manual generator test, we have a price to make up a set of cables that we would need if we ever have to go to use a manual, the manual switch. So I'll bring those to you next time, and that's about it.
All right. Well, thanks for the preview of coming attractions.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, I believe we would invite Director Fox to join us for another RFP and some report.
Morning.
Morning, Chris.
Morning. On the agenda for what I'm looking to speak to you about today is disposing of our outgoing Ford Interceptor utility. I presented a proposal to Administrator Atkins to do this a little bit different than has been done in the past. And that is by accepting sealed bids with the vehicle still equipped with its emergency lighting and siren, in the thoughts that maybe a fire or EMS chief or a fire or EMS department may want to take advantage of a well-maintained vehicle that's already equipped. So in that document, you see the layout of my proposal. So just looking to see if this is something that we can approve. There will be as is laid out in the bid package, request for proposals, or request for bids rather. There is a condition that we will verify that the person awarded potentially the winning bid is authorized in compliance with Title 29A to have such emergency equipment in their vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah, Chair, this sounds reasonable to me, but I would say if we don't get any reasonable bids or bids that are acceptable to us, that we just put it in with a regular auction of county vehicles after that.
So Chris, is there equipment that is relatively new in there that we could make use of on the replacement vehicle, or is that already been acquired and outfitted?
So the equipment that will be coming out of the vehicle is the radios, but the other equipment is vehicle specific, and the equipment that will be going into the new vehicle has already been acquired. So we're not completely throwing everything or getting rid of everything. We are looking to be fiscally responsible, bridging some equipment from the old vehicle into the new one.
Thank you. Thank you. And I guess at this point, are there other questions? Being none, at this point, I would entertain a motion regarding development and recording of an RFP on the EMA vehicle.
I move we send out the RP consistent with the director's recommendations.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to issue the RFP with the understanding that if it is not appropriate, we have the discretion to reject all bids. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, it is unanimous. Second item, Chris.
The other item I presented was for a new copier, or new to us copier, but that's going to be, I paused for now because the copier that we were looking to acquire is no longer available. So we'll come back with different options at the next meeting.
Fair enough. Do we own or lease our equipment for other departments in county government?
Own. Yeah, we own them and they're under a maintenance agreement.
Okay,
Most of them are grouped together in the county under a maintenance agreement with one vendor.
gotcha.
Makes it more efficient, makes them better pricing in general. Yep.
All right, well, we'll wait for further recommendations then.
Let me just ask a question directly. You've identified a pre-owned at $26.95. What would a new one off the shelf cost?
A new one is going to be in the 5,000 range.
Okay, so just under double.
Yes, sir. But depending on how many we buy at the same time, we may be able to leverage better cost savings that way.
How many do you need?
Oh, I mean, I only need one, but I meant as a county as a whole.
All spot. Okay, thank you.
And that's all I have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this point, an item on the agenda is related to the Kensington Economic Development position and the fact that the contract would be ending. I don't know what the feeling of the commission is, or I don't think I see anyone in the room from EMDC. It might be prudent to invite somebody to come over because I believe there's been some change or there is a pending change of the individual that currently fills that position.
I would like to, in light of the change, I would like the input of the TIF committee and their recommendations be included in any proposal.
Okay. But I think EMDC has overseen this and we should have some discussion with them as to what they see the future. I think you're correct. TIF has been involved in the funding or a good portion of the funding, if I'm not mistaken. It's both TIF money and PILT money that has been allocated to this position over the last going on 7 years.
Correct.
So could we ask perhaps in I can't remember right now, what is the date that contract terminates?
September 30? I'm not sure. That's it.
It's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah,
End of the year.
end of the
Oh, the end of the
calendar
calendar
year.
year?
Oh,
Into the calendar year.
Okay,
Yeah,
December 31st.
Yeah.
So while it's not directly in the budget, it does affect some funds from the budget.
no, 75 through, 75 through TIF and 25 through the PIL.
But the PILT is undesignated
No,
funding at this
well,
point.
it's in a separate fund. It is not, those funds were not originally deposited into the general fund, so they would not be directly in the undesignated fund balance. They would be a designated balance in Fund 2.
All right, thanks for the clarification, but in essence, it gives us latitude as to what we do with those funds. So with Dan here, we may want to take a little time at the workshop to discuss the future of use of tilt funds so that they have some kind of strategic place in the
Yeah,
funding.
it should be an item in the workshop.
Okay, yep,
Right, great. So no action required on that today, but we would,
No.
after we get some understanding, want to invite EMDC in to speak, I believe.
Yeah, I want to take a second to thank Amy Collinsworth for her last 3 years of work up in the northern Penobscot County, all the work that she has done. She's been a great asset, done good work up there, and I want to publicly thank her for her service to the community.
She's been very receptive to coming down and reporting to us in addition to the printed report that we had requested when we did the original grant. Okay, next item up appears to be the sheriff's, and I believe the chief is the lucky winner of today's presentation.
Chief is here.
Sheriff wanted to apologize. He's at the academy today for 8 hours doing interviews for criminal justice board, so.
We're always thrilled when you join us. You have a succinct presentation, I'm sure.
I know you are. The first thing that I'll bring up are the town contracts. I will note that there is one missing. I believe it's Penobscot Gate. We haven't received a signed copy of that. So what I'd like to do, what I will note is, obviously, the full-time contracts have expanded recently in recent years. They've added personnel, added SROs, and things of that nature in the full-time contracts. What I will also note that I think is important to note is, even the part-time contracts, like Penobscot, which is a fairly new contract, they've re-upped again because they're happy with the services we are providing. And I think it's important to note that some of these towns are stepping up to help their own communities, even though they can't afford the full-time services, they're still doing the part-time services. So, I'll pass these on to Administrator Atkins for his signature if you guys approve them. The first contract is the town of Bradley. That's been a long-standing contract. Again, this is a 1-year, July to June of 26. That's a part-time contract.
you can wait and hand them over. I think I'm signing,
Yeah,
but yeah,
correct.
yeah, and then once they're approved.
And then I'll take them back.
Yep.
The second one is gonna be the town of Clifton. That's a full-time contract, that's July 2022 to 2025. That's a full-time 2 personnel of Edmonton, Clifton. Town of Edmonton, it's the same contract, but a different time frame. They voted on it differently, so July 25 to 28. Town of Enfield's a part-time contract. That's been a long-standing contract that we've had with them. So that's another 25 to 26.
Sorry, what town was that, Chief?
Town of Enfield.
Enfield.
Town of Howland, same thing, part-time contract, July 25, 26. That's been a long-standing part-time contract that we've had. Town of Penobscot, that's one of the newer contracts. This will be July of this year to 26. Town of Levant, another long-term part-time contract, July 25 to June 26.
Is Penobscot part-time?
Yes.
And what was the last one?
The last one was Town of Levant. Next one is a full-time contract with the Town of Warrenton. That's gonna be a 3-year contract, July 25 to June of 28.
And that's multiple positions, is it not?
Yes, that's 4 deputies and an SRO. Town of Stetson, this is another part-time contract that we've been doing for a few years now. They decided to re-up, so that'll be July of this year to June of next year, 26. And the last one is the Town of Wynn, another long-term part-time contract way up north. They just voted in for July of this year to June of 26. And that's the last ones that I have for today.
Do we have any motion regarding these approval of these contracts?
I move we approve the contracts, part-time and full-time. And, well, we could include Passadumkeag at this time, or do we have to?
No, I would wait until we have the contract.
Okay, so why don't we do those, absent Passadumkeag until then we'll handle that independently.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to approve 1-year contracts for Bradley, Clifton, Enfield, Howland, Penobscot, Levant, Stetson, and Wynn, and 3-year contracts with Orrington and Eddington, combination of full and part-time positions. And in regards to that, do we have any discussion?
Just a question on the full-time ones. Did we do Clifton and Milford? Are they part of the packet today?
No, Milford's separate. Those ones are, I believe, are already signed.
Oh, they're already done. I just was reading the
Correct, yeah,
memo.
different time frames.
Okay.
So we have a motion. The only observation I'd make, Chief, it's germane but not directly to this, is we will be discussing some of these at convention. I'll have, follow up with the sheriff, but if you, as kind of his key person on these patrol contracts, could put together a list, and we could develop sort of a explanation on some of these, so we could use it as a template to share with other counties, it would be appreciated.
Yeah, we have a lot of interest. I've received a lot of interest across the state and different counties about these contracts, because everyone does them a little bit different. But I think if you're in that one setting and all the commissioners there in one place, it'd be a good place to talk about it.
Yeah. The other thing, and we could talk about this offline in more detail, but it would be nice to get some letters from these town administrators or select boards talking about what the value is. So it's, again, helpful for people to understand how they use the part-time and full-time in some cases.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So with that, any further discussion from the commission? Hearing none, all those in favor of the named contracts and allowing the administrator to sign them, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. Thank you for your work on that.
The next thing I got on the agenda is, and again, the sheriff's had extensive conversations with Administrator Atkins, is the purchase of 1 new patrol vehicle at this time. We did receive some revenue back from a crash that we were involved in on one of the vehicles. We also auctioned off another vehicle, and we do have funds still in our balance sheet that we'd like to utilize. It won't wipe out the balance sheet, there'll still be monies there. But we are in desperate need of a patrol vehicle right now. We did check with local vendors. They're not able to satisfy that purchase, so we've gone back to Colonial in Massachusetts, who have provided us a quote at the same cost of the RFP that we put out earlier this year for the 10 next year.
41 something like that?
No, it's 56 for the town.
What was it?
I believe it's 56.
Got 20,000, we got 20,000 from the insurance of the vehicle that was T-boned. And then we have, how much is it? 41,000 in a balance sheet? And
I believe so.
And how much did we get for the other sale, or?
If I could, you want me to answer? Yeah, so the 41, I think you might be looking at the next item.
Yeah.
There is no balance sheet balance on their escrow for the sheriff's vehicles. Because in reviewing it, we found a few errors, which I'm working with Director Palmer on. She's on top of it. So we just didn't have a balance this morning. Sheriff and I talked yesterday, and throwing the numbers out, it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 to 90,000 if you included all that. So as the chief pointed out, they have more than enough to cover this. Yeah.
So the motion today is to approve?
Yes, please.
Mr. Chair,
Do we have such motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second,
So the motion would be to acquire a replacement vehicle for patrol, recognizing an existing agreement or relationship with Colonial would potentially negate the need for an RFP and allow them to move forward. I have a motion and a second. Do I have further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous.
Since we're on the top of vehicles, we'll go to another vehicle.
Uh-oh, kangaroo.
Where? So as you're aware, we have the civil department, and for years we had 2 employees. We expanded that to 3 a few years ago. And we had to rob Peter to pay Paul to get that 3rd vehicle, which is what we've done. Those vehicles, we do get 160, get close to 200,000 miles on them. We keep them as long, I mean, Lewis Beal and some of these guys, they're in those vehicles for 8+ years. So we do get our money back, but we're at that point now with one of the vehicles that one of our deputies is operating that it's too expensive to fix, it's old. So we're at that point we're gonna have to purchase. The sheriff and Administrator Atkins went through, we do have 40,000 on the balance sheet for that. We also have $10,000 in the budget for that. I don't know what the cost of that vehicle is, and it's usually typically less than that. We've purchased former leased vehicles in the past that have some mileage on them. So again, I think it's just reaching out into the market and trying to find a vehicle that's suitable for, and this is the northern deputy, so she's traveling from Shin Pond all the way down to Greenbush just about. So it is a lot of miles. So we're just looking for approval to replace that civil. That civil vehicle is actually out of rotation now. It's sitting at the dealership. And we just think it's gonna be too expensive to fix. It's really not worth it at this point, so.
And commissioners, sorry, Chair, go ahead.
Let's go, no, have your say, please.
I just wanted to let you know remind you that we generally go off the lot on these vehicles. So when we find one, we have to buy it. So right at this point, we don't know the price. If you wanted to set a limit, you could. However, I think you can certainly trust the sheriff and the chief for due diligence here and replacing the vehicle and provide them with authority to purchase 1 unit.
And what do those units usually run? I mean, it's less than.
I think the last one, and again, I was just gonna say, it's probably that 35, 36 range.
Yeah, right.
But it's been a few years. We actually, one of them, we actually replaced an engine because it was
And we've
more
got enough money
economical,
in
so
the-
we've done things like that, but.
40,000 was it in the?
Well, he's got 51, if you add the 251 something, right, yeah.
Do that.
Well, 51 is, change, I'm sure, that
Okay.
goes around it, yes.
No more than 50.
Yeah.
So we need a.
And those, I mean, honestly, we buy them from local dealerships right here in the city.
Right, yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah.
we started with sedans and then, Sheriff and I were talking
Oh,
yesterday. No, they went to smaller
It's
SUVs.
a mid-size SUV. is
And
typically
I think he would like to maybe step it up just a little bit with the roads and what they're getting beat on, and the usage of it. They're in the vehicles for a lot. So if an opportunity arose for to get something, a little bit different.
I mean, I've got we got a 2017 that's got 130,000 miles on it. We got another 2017 that's got 164,000, and we have another one, 2019 that's got 140,000. So they're used. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish I know last month. I had a lease, I could've.
Oh, there you go. Where'd you take it?
I'll tell you afterward, yeah.
Yeah, so.
I would I would entertain a motion at this point regarding the acquisition of a replacement from local dealerships.
I would move that we approve the acquisition of a replacement vehicle.
Is
Second?
there an amount that, thank you, is there an amount that you wish to cap that at?
No, I don't think it's necessary. I will yield to the sheriff's discretion.
Okay, we have, if I see correctly, we have approximately 51, almost 52,000 available in the budget or escrow right now, if that's how I'm reading this.
Correct.
I
Okay,
can't do that.
so you do not want to expend over that amount?
No,
Okay.
not technically.
I don't.
Okay, that's, I guess, what I want to clarify with my colleagues before we go forward with the vote.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would that amendment be up to 52,000?
Fine with me.
I don't think there's any issue with that, but yeah.
Chief, that give you enough latitude, Chief?
I'm good with that. I don't think it'll be any.
I would
No.
just say that would be allowed, but I don't expect that
I
level.
don't, yeah,
No,
I don't
he's-
expect that amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got future purchases that they need to worry about. He's very cognizant of what's coming, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion to permit the purchase of a replacement vehicle in an SUV class at the discretion of the sheriff's department.
So no, just house cleaning, no amount in the motion?
I don't know, that's why I brought that up for,
Thank you, yeah.
What's the recommendation of the administrator? Should we put the 51?
I already wrote it down, so
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be, I don't think
Caveat
anybody's gonna
that
be
with
offended to it, so.
$51,000 cap.
Yeah,
He can only spend what he's got.
so we have a motion to allow the purchase up to 51,000. Is that what I'm hearing?
yeah. Mr. Trumbull.
Is that a yes?
Yep, we're good.
All right, great. Thank you. I guess my only other question, not directly related to this purchase, but Chief, do we escrow as we do for the patrol vehicles, something into these accounts?
I believe we budget $10,000 a year,
Yes,
and it's supposed to, it's like a capital account to help
does,
that account,
yep.
so.
yep,
So when we get to the workshop, we may want to take a little closer look at the history of those vehicles to make sure we're approaching the appropriate amount in the budget.
yes, updating the CIP is already in place.
Awesome, thank you. All right, without further discussion, I would entertain a vote. All those in favor of the motion to purchase vehicle, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. Thank you. Anything further, Chief?
Yes, I believe the sheriff spoke to Administrator Atkins about the ARPA funds
Oh,
drawn off. So I know there was some money set aside within the ARPA program for the specialties, SRT and things of that nature. We are at one of those points where we'd like to draw a minimal amount to purchase some SRT gear and some other things that we are in desperate need of. Off of that previously approved amount, I believe the amount was somewhere in the area of 100,000.
yes, the base amount's 100,000, or the awarded amount, I think your request, if I recall right, was shy of 24,000, something like that.
Right.
Just for the commission, this was a last minute request yesterday afternoon, so I left it to basically have the chief present it if you wish to hear it or discuss it.
Is this replacement equipment or new equipment?
It's new and replacement.
It's an upgrade?
Yes. So, law enforcement equipment is great because every time you change something, everything else has to change.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a prime example. We had to upgrade all our portable radios because of the tower project that Director LaVoy was doing.
Right.
By making that upgrade, when you're dealing with the silence, push-to-talks in their headphones, now all that has to change. So we're trying to catch up on some of that stuff. We do have a new member that does new, and unfortunately with that, most of that stuff is not transferable except for maybe the helmet, but the vests are fitted, all the armors, that's all fitted, so we can't just transfer it to another person. So that's what we're running into right now.
Oh, so is that the single purchase of a few of these items?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And then the software, you know, the old days of having the pagers, sometimes I don't always agree with what we had in the old days, but the pagers were great because everyone had them and you could send on a page and everybody would call. We don't have that anymore. And one of the things that we have found, we've been in, I'm sure you see the news like everybody else, we've been in some pretty high profile situations over the last few years. And one of the problems that we have is when we're trying to track our members, especially when we're dealing with felony apprehensions and canine tracks and God love Memphis, that dog is all over the place, including the city of Bangor. They've assisted the state police, and we can't track our personnel when they're in the woods. So one of the bigger purchases on this you'll see is the call-out software. For 2 years, it's $8,500. After you do the initial, every 2 or 3 years, I think it's a $500 licensing fee, $5,000 licensing fee you have to do every few years. But that system actually, not only can we use it for calling out, we don't have to call dispatch to call people out anymore and interrupt their operations. We can do it ourselves. Everything is cellular. The biggest thing about that is we can track our personnel. So like our canine handler, our SRT guys, or whoever it may be that's actually out in the woods trying to chase these people down, if something goes bad, we know where they are.
Right.
So that's an important purchase to us.
Yeah, right.
It's also a system similar to what the state police TAC team uses.
That's a safety measure.
So we're, especially when we integrate with the SP team, it's nice to be able to track our guys with their guys. So the sheriff has asked us if we could draw off that ARPA funded for $24,634.
Chair, do you have any questions on the listing? I'm sorry that you don't have it, but,
Most of that is personalized equipment, so it's not transferable. It's vests and jackets and whatnot,
And
boot size, things of that.
I will tell you, we do piecemeal it, so if we do have Gore-Tex that does fit the person, we will give that to them. We don't buy brand new just because you're brand new, so we will do that. This is the stuff we just don't have. And again, if we're on a mission for 10, 12 hours on a barricade and they're on a perimeter for 6 of those hours in the rain, we've got to have that protective clothing.
Yep.
And I'd like to say that we don't do that, but we do actually do that quite a bit, so.
All right, any further questions, or is there an action that would like to be proposed?
Oh, there's a, what do you mean, an estimate? There's a cost, is it cost?
Saying, is there an action that you would like to present for consideration today?
you want to move this?
I'd like to move to approve.
Yeah, I would second, just a question, is that the best account to use, the ARPA money, or the forfeiture account, what's the best, is this the best account to use?
I don't know if forfeiture
I don't
could
think
be
they, I
used.
don't think you can buy
I'm guessing not.
that one. I'd have to research.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that qualifies for, but
Well-
whatever the best use is.
If that might be something to look into, because it could be, again, future funding
I'm
for,
pretty sure
but
it does.
forfeiture.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not an expert when it comes to the forfeiture laws.
You can't do personnel.
Right, you can do training, you can do some
Right,
equipment,
yeah.
there's, if it's in drug enforcement related,
Right.
yes, correct.
If Winnie Dana is in the room, can she just look into assuring that we have covered all of these things where there is an addition for software, that it would be the appropriate use of the ARPA funds?
Sure.
That's an affirmative.
But it's approximately $8,500 of this request for that
Yes,
program, right?
yes, correct.
Yes.
And they can get the color dots in brown and French blue to identify the different people, right?
If you give me the money, we'll do whatever you want.
Oh, wow. Strike that from the record. Chair, if I can assure you that in looking at this, that all of these are on the list other than the one that you mentioned. And so I guess my only, and it's probably been taken under consideration is that, that's just 8,500 taken away from other areas, so, but there's a level of importance here, and I can, as the chief has testified, this sort of protects everything else that we're buying, so.
So in the event that we found after this vote that 85 was not allowable under the current designation from the ARPA funds, would we have another source within this year's budget to allocate to that?
I think the 85, and I'm looking at Wendy, the 8,500, I would say is fine as well. Yeah, there was flexibility in that. However, the other funding source, I might recommend to the chief to take a look, and if that is, then yeah, maybe we consider that piece that would allow you to buy other stuff, but
I don't think there is right now.
yeah, well, I think the forfeiture is what the, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, based on that, do we have a motion? We had a motion to proceed, if I'm not mistaken, from Commissioner.
Yeah, I had a motion and a second, correct.
Yeah, motion second. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the allocation to these requested expenses, say aye.
I,
Aye from the chair, so it would be unanimous.
Thank you.
I believe I see one other item. Are you prepared to discuss that today, or do you want to?
Yes, but I believe the HR director Dyer is gonna help me with this. This is, in reference to the pay scale for the Maine pretrial positions that were approved recently, and we're here to discuss the proposed wage scale that have been discussed between HR and Administrator Atkins and the sheriff and Captain Bollier.
Yeah, so just an update on that. Last meeting, the sheriff updated you that we thought we maybe could do a 6-month hybrid, and they kind of came back and said 2 months is more appropriate, so we began posting and interviewing right away. And we have several qualified and highly experienced and skilled people for the coordinator role, which is the supervisor of this division, as well as some good candidates for the specialist roles. However, in some of these interviews and looking at the applicant skill level that we achieved in the hiring process, the wage scale that I brought to you 2 weeks ago seems to be a bit low. And so I've handed out, and I'm sorry, Commissioner Cushing, I did it this morning, so you don't have a copy in front of you, but I will email it to you. The sheet you're looking at, the yellow items are what I had given you all at your last meeting. And those were based on comparing them to corrections officers and clericals and trying to find the balance of where this division should fall. But looking at some market and the skills of these candidates, below the green bar is now what I'm looking to propose for the coordinator and the specialist. This still puts them in line with the duties in their job description, and will allow us to get a couple of really well-qualified, educated, and skilled candidates to fill these roles that will require minimal training, and be able to kind of step right in and help the sheriff get this program off the ground and running effectively.
I'm assuming this new sheet maintains this 3% differential in steps?
Yes, it's 3% between each step and about a 5% between the coordinator and the specialist, so that keeps that supervisory position a little bit higher.
You have to be a mathematician to figure this out.
No, you don't. I can show you.
Well, that's your job, that's your qualification. I trust you.
I think what's important to note on these positions, kind of like when we looked at the digital evidence manager position, it's a subject matter expert that you're trying to target to hire. You can't cookie cut this into a corrections officer or a police sergeant, or this is something brand new.
A hybrid.
A highly specialized individual that's, so again, we're trying to create something that, one, draws people into the position, but actually pays them for really what they deserve for their expertise. Right?
Correct, and lucky for me, you didn't make a motion last time, so I could bring it back to you this time.
Do we know how they would have to be classified if they are not fitting into the current slot? I mean, would these be non-union positions?
Yes, correct,
Okay.
These are both non-union?
correct.
And the current contract services is in a similar case, so we're not affected by any contracts with the different bargaining units.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, there may be questions, I'm sure, later on, but that would open us up for discussion, but you're absolutely correct, Chair. The status of having this contractually provided allows the county to address it, at least at the start, in this fashion.
I think that may be helpful to us as we kind of lean into this and determine what our needs are, and I'm sure it, you know, it's a new aspect of what we have contracted for previously, so I would be comfortable continuing in this role, non-union, until we have some time under our belt to have that discussion.
Correct. Yep.
So do we have a motion regarding the proposal, or do we need further time to digest this?
Looking for a motion. I think we now have this under control to the point where, with your approval today, it'll certainly be expedited in moving this program forward.
I'm just thinking of the 2-month window, whether it would be more appropriate to move forward now or not.
Oh, much more appropriate now, unless there are some questions. I think Commissioner Trumbull might have one.
Does this still fit in the budget that the sheriff laid out for them?
Yes. Yeah. We were probably overly conservative at first. And then as Director Dyer pointed out, we did more research, started looking at this and some of the information, and it was like, well, okay, maybe we can't. And in order to make it happen, we would have had to go outside parameters, which, as you know, we don't like to do. So, yes, this fits within the budget. All indications are this is gonna take this program to a whole new level, create efficiencies elsewhere. I'm not saying we're gonna save millions of dollars, but I think certainly all indications are that this is a much better approach to move forward with.
And to just expand on what the chief said, I think being conservative early on at the wage scale, not knowing, again, that particular skill set and subject matter expert that we were looking for, that wage scale made sense for someone that we might have to bring in and do a lot of training and bring up to speed for. And then we found that we actually got some pretty decent, well-qualified candidates that already have that knowledge of pretrial services or criminal degrees, criminal background degrees and things like that. So we found people that maybe warrant a relook at the original conservative numbers.
And we have housing or space to house this project on campus, or would we use the current space that our contractor uses? How do we see that shaping up?
We're still working that out. We've had some discussions about office space, and again, it's moving some puzzles.
We've always been creative.
Yeah.
Okay. I know.
Yeah. I can tell you that's not a roadblock at all.
Okay.
Yep.
Share space with the DA's office upstairs.
Yeah, certainly we need the personnel. We can figure out the location. And I know you've got a plan once we get Franklin Street in shape, and it sounds like we've only 2 months to make that a reality if we have to use the space you had hoped to use. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Today, we're just talking about the pay scale, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, did we get a motion?
I'm not aware of one.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I would move we accept the proposed pay scale.
I have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous, and we thank you both for your work on this.
Thank you.
Anything further that you would like to share with us?
No, I want to say hats off to our employees. Everybody in the jail's been working very hard. It's been a very busy summer. Watch the media and you know what's going on with patrol. I was up at 4 AM this morning for more things that were occurring, and it's not getting easier, but you know what, we're full staff on the law enforcement side, so I think that says something for our staff and how hard they work and the morale within the agency. And the jail, I can't say enough. That staff in that jail, they're very impressive people, and I think they should just be acknowledged. So.
Thank you for that. I did see that there is a staffing update attached, and then there was a mobile app and Vine update. Is that something you want to wait until the sheriff is here?
Yeah, I would let him comment on that.
All right, super. Well, Chief, thank you. We will move on to the next item. And appreciate both your comments and your work.
Yeah.
Director Dyer, you're on the hot seat now.
Thank you. So I had kind of debated on whether to give you this update or not, and in talking with the administrator, I think it's an update that I need to share with you. So on the HRIS front, the proposal that they had given us, their quote proposal, had an expiration of July 31st on it. I met with them last week, and what they were able to do is they got their approval to delay 100% of our billing for implementation costs, which is your startup money, as well as our monthly billing cycle until we go live. But those were conditional approvals upon the July 31st signing. However, should you all be willing and wanting to entertain signing that for a Q4 start of implementation process, they may be able to get that extended another week or so. And I didn't want to lose out on the chance of having this delayed billing. It's no upfront cost to us. It wouldn't start until our budget cycle in '26. So that is the update that I have. Otherwise, costs could change. We may not have the delayed billing in Q4 if we wait. Also not wanting to be pushy and understanding that's a huge decision to make.
Yeah. This is in the range of, was it 70 annually plus implementation costs?
Correct. I think it was almost 21,000 for implementation and about 70 annually. Some of which we can save on other services that we're having that are going to be all factored into that $70,000 number.
And this kind of ties into another issue that you folks have been investigating.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
I would be okay moving forward with it, but I just don't think we have firm figures yet on what we would be getting or saving on the proposed, the proposed solution to pay for this, the funding for this. So is that still a little fluid?
I think in our executive session, we might be able to get into that a little bit more. And if I'd be willing to go back to them and see if they could extend us to your next meeting so you have some time to discuss today's items and then have some considerations, because I don't want you to take an action on something you're not comfortable doing.
I'd be okay with that, making a decision at the next meeting.
Yeah, the one thing is the fiscal impact, the other is there are administrative benefits to me, and I think we'd like to see those, the administrative benefits, the non-monetary benefits that you see, I think would also be advisable.
So just for me, as much as I'm supporting this, again, from a budgeting perspective, well, I support it. I'm not really a fan of their sales approach. While not trying to be pushy, I think it is rather pushy. And if it's a month or so later and we're that valuable of a client and this contract is that important, then it shouldn't make a difference. So just for me personally, I'm not a fan of their approach. To me, it is kind of a pressure type sales approach. And I just think there are a lot of things to consider before we commit to this. So I'm just throwing that out there with any thought to process to talking about making a decision at the next meeting.
Understood.
I agree with that. I would tell them, I wouldn't ask for it until next week. Say, they're gonna take till next week. If you don't give them till next week, they're not gonna do it. Can't tell them that, right?
Yeah, well-
They'll do it.
Well,
Just
yeah.
to clarify, we're not looking at next week, we're looking at next meeting.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
like it?
Right, and so for me, as I've explained it to, Tony, is that, for me, I believe we do need to start it early. So while we may not commit to the fourth quarter right now, so Scott, give me a time frame. Right now, I'm telling you, probably sometime in September. I can give you a more definitive answer probably by the second meeting in September. And actually, I would say that I think we need to either, commit or not do it by the second week of September. Which means I'm probably not gonna be ready to implement in October, but November, sure. So in my mind, just so the commission knows, that's what my recommendation would be.
And that would give you time within the budget discussions with the department heads to provide us with some more overall numbers.
Well, more importantly, for the commissioners to take a look, and again, as we talked, we talked about the main issue that's in front of us and how are we gonna address that?
Yep. Just speaking from my personal perspective, I support this action too, because I recognize the complexity of HR is putting a lot of pressure on them. They've clearly proven to be a valuable asset and have filled some of these gaps that we struggled with for a while. So I want to support the department and their team in what they're doing. Having gone to NACO and a couple of other conferences, I know there are other players out there, some of which I anticipate may be coming to convention if we lock some things in. Tony, what do you know about the proposed, time to get our records into the system and ready for operations when we pull the trigger on it?
Yeah, I mean, I talked to them last week after speaking with Scott about, like he mentioned, like a whole, November sort of starting the implementation process. In a perfect world, that's enough time, but again, with holidays, they can't guarantee staff vacations and things, so we might be a little bit delayed on a January 1 go live, should something not go exactly the way that it should go in that 8-week time frame. Is it impossible? No, but there's a few more potential hiccups that happen when you're talking that end of year holiday timing, which could happen on our end too. If we have, if I'm on vacation over Christmas and they need something that Jen can't accommodate, that may delay it a little bit, but they have the confidence that even if the implementation was shortened by a month and a quarter, they can still do, as long as all the systems integrate perfectly and go just fine, that shouldn't be an issue.
Do they bill on a monthly, quarterly, biannual basis? What do you recollect from your discussions with them?
It's a monthly billing that they give us.
Okay.
Which is the same for their current bill cycle with payroll.
Okay. Because we do have some considerations that the administrators brought to our attention in terms of a cash flow into 26 that we have to, I think, reflect on. Not that this is overwhelming, but when you add everything else up that may or may not come together, I just want to give the administrator time to put the pieces of the puzzle together so he can better advise us on where we're at in the financial.
Yes, understood.
So I'm sensing that we are not ready to make a decision today, but we would like to investigate this further and give the administrator some more time to pull associated factors on cost and timing together. Is that
Yeah,
sense of the
today was pretty much an update.
Yeah.
Unless you wish to make a decision, but.
Well, I'll leave that to my colleagues as to how they, Dan, what's your sense on this?
We don't need to rush to decision on this right now.
I agree.
All right, let's put it on the agenda for, a check-in at the next meeting? Or do you want to wait until September for the check-in? Is that going to give you more time to get the data that you need, Scott?
But let's see how things develop.
Okay.
We have a little bit of time to just make that.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to ISOL, then we'll
Yeah.
chat internally and figure that out.
I think we want to reassure them that this is a direction that we indeed want to go, but because of our budget cycle and other factors, we just don't feel comfortable committing today.
Right.
We need to go slow a little bit.
Okay.
But I certainly do want to respect and recognize the work that both Tony and Jen, the department, have put in on this. I think that has certainly given us some level of comfort.
Yeah.
Okay. Next item up.
I have an RFP that I would like to request you approve for me to publish tomorrow. This is to go out for an insurance broker for the county. As you're aware, we've had the same broker for dozens of years. I honestly couldn't tell you an exact number. As with any good business model, you always want to look and make sure you're getting the best service that you're paying. So I've developed an RFP for a new broker. This is for a limited broker relationship, meaning this person is only going to deal with our annual renewal cycles, manage the sort of marketing of our plan, the rates of our plan. They will not be dealing with employee enrollments and managing employee data, which will, I think, help reduce our cost a little bit, which is part of the proposal for the HR system. They kind of go together. So I've sent this proposal to the administrator. He looked it over. I think this kind of meets what we've discussed in some other meetings with you all. And my proposal is to put this out tomorrow and have it back for your August 20th meeting for you to open any proposals that come in. And I plan on sending this to 5 specific brokers, as well as publishing it online for anybody else who may choose to submit something.
Questions from the commission?
Yeah, ready for motion. I move we send the RFP for insurance broker out to bid.
Second?
So I have a motion and a second to move forward with the RFP as presented. Further discussion?
No, just as a point, this is one item that again, finding the results of this is another item in relation to the HRIS decision, so.
Understood. Yeah.
How fast it is.
It's appropriate that we move forward in a timely manner. So we have the motion, we have the second, final ask on discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. Thank you very much for your work on this. Anything further from HR?
No, I'm all done.
You good?
Okay.
I'm gonna get my gavel now.
Okay. Administrative update. Take her away.
Take her away. So the first item I have, you've probably seen the emails I forwarded. There's a new settlement agreement that the county is, we have documentation requesting us to approve that we'd like to participate. So if I could get a motion on that.
Yeah, we need to formalize it. I'll make the motion.
Second with a question?
We have a motion regarding a revised settlement with Purdue Sackler in the opioid cases. Further discussion.
Based on previous settlements, do we have any idea how much this would mean for the county?
At this point, I don't. I haven't seen any numbers, and they said it would be the same allocation as all other items. So I can look on the.
I think it's a total of 6.5 billion,
Right.
13 years or whatever it is. And who knows what the shakedown's gonna be.
Yeah, I think that's currently, and I don't think that's been finalized. I think
That's recommended.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think they need to get sign off from the party, and then they can take it to the court. But certainly, we've been, I think, pretty well represented and communicated with, from my experience in this, and just as I remember reading about this, the original settlement slash bankruptcy related to Purdue and the owner's responsibility, and it was not approved by the court, and so they went back to the bargaining table, and this is the new proposal, which I think adds more teeth to the case.
Right,
Yep. So with
yeah,
that, I
summary,
have a
yep.
motion and a second. Further discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor of having the administrator sign this, please say aye.
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 Right, thank
We do approve it. Thank you.
you. Yep.
Workshop.
Yes, workshop, I propose the 27th, I'm thinking that's a Wednesday. Certainly open to other dates. I would say, well, probably an hour to an hour and a half, could be two. Discussions over a few things, I'll list, some policies. There are several that different personnel have been working on. We can have a chat about the update on some of our goals. Great time to talk about, as we get prepared for the budget.
Yeah.
What else was it we were just talking
Well, we
about?
need to talk about the economic directors for.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That's a good date. I think we're all in agreement, timeframe. If I'm not open to any that they.
Same time, 10 o'clock, and right here, same
What
time,
time?
same channel, do the
10
same
o'clock.
thing as a regular meeting?
10 o'clock is right.
Okay, all right, cool.
So we'll plan on 10 o'clock on the 27th for our workshop.
All right, thank you. Well, here's another easy one. So you've received the communications regards to a meeting with Hamden.
Yes.
So a quick update. Might have been last week. I'm trying to recall, when did we talk?
So you and I talked about a week ago, and I did make a call to the manager in relation to this. What we've determined is the 25th would be a date that would be best for them in the event that fit our schedules. It would be an evening meeting.
Yep.
With them, and we did discuss involving the sheriff and the captain at least, and they were receptive to that.
Yes, yeah, I was gonna make that suggestion, I think that would be great. What I was gonna say was, so Attorney Pease reached out to me, because, he was contacted, he represents both sides at this point, and wanted to know if there were any concerns from the county's view. And I think even to the extent that if all parties agreed that he may participate in this meeting. Again, I'm not sure what his conversation has been with Hamden, but I just want to give you that update.
Yeah, and I certainly, personally, I feel okay in this context because we're not in an adversarial position. We're in an information and discussion on what they sense that there is some concern in the community because of the failure of certain media to get the facts before they blurted it out there. And so it's created some need for clarity. And, candidly, I have had two discussions where I've presented what we could share publicly with the council in executive session, but I think they would feel more comfortable. And the sheriff has also taken the time to talk to their chief and answer some questions on the law enforcement side. So there has been some positive dialogues, but in light of the public facing side without a lot of details that we have yet maybe to be able to provide, I think this is a healthy opportunity. I would have the caveat, I guess, if we get to a point in negotiations where we feel we need legal counsel, I would like our position with Rudman to take precedence if we needed to continue with Mr. Pease. And so we should probably talk to them about that aspect of how he would, or maybe first, Scott, you could talk Tim and express that if the rest of the commissioners are on board with him being in a first position for the county and how that would work out if we needed his counsel.
Right.
If you
So-
understand what I'm saying.
I do, and I don't know if you can see me kind of smirking a little bit, smiling, is that we did have that discussion, and that would change things
Would
from
we, in his opinion, need to seek outside counsel on this issue?
more than likely.
We would, okay,
Both sides, it's my understanding both sides would.
okay, okay.
How many, is that a big council in Hampton, and can they come here? None of those dates they proposed work for me, those are all Mondays, so.
If it was an evening, Dan, because of your council meetings?
Right,
Oh,
Gotcha, okay. All right, well, I'll go back to Paula. Would you be comfortable and potentially available if they did it earlier on the 25th? Meaning,
oh yeah, 4 o'clock, I think they proposed 5, I
they
mean,
did
4.
5 and 6, but they,
I could even do 4
yeah,
or
they
5.
did mention that, yeah.
okay, I would anticipate probably a maximum of an hour would be satisfactory.
I could probably even do 5, even 5 would be okay, just, if
Okay.
it's just an hour, yeah.
If it was like a 4:30 even, or,
Yeah.
okay.
All
5
right,
would,
let's,
a little, okay, all right.
Scott, do you
Yeah.
want to reach out to Paula Scott in Hamden and see if that might be something they'd be able to accommodate?
I will, and I'll keep the commission updated,
We will go to him.
yeah, I think that would be better,
I think that's
yeah.
the
I think
proper,
that's right, yeah.
that's a proper thing to do.
The other question on this too is open or executive?
It would be, according to what was shared with me, would, because of some of the contractual matters, would be an executive session at this point.
That's what's a contractual matter?
Yeah, I'm
I
not,
don't know how it would qualify, I think they would prefer executive, but I'm not sure what, it's up to them, they're the ones calling.
Yeah,
Me, but I don't think
Okay,
I'm
good
I
point.
see either or, but, okay, I can ask Paula and,
Let's see what they prefer.
yeah.
See what they prefer.
My feeling on the contractual matter, and this may not be appropriate, we can ask Tim Pease to verify it, is, we're dealing with a parcel of land and some confidential information related to that. But again, I'm not a lawyer, so I would want our legal.
Yeah, I think if any sensitive information probably should not be released, but,
I don't know
yeah.
what's the, I mean, obviously you can't say it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll ask Tim and see what he has to
Yeah.
offer opinions, yeah.
I think, in fairness, we want to be as fully
Yeah.
disclosing as we can be, but we're still waiting on key information from our different advisors on this project, so we don't want to give inaccurate information either.
Right,
And the location will be in Hamden at their council chamber,
yes.
at 4:30 on the 20.
Well, I'll verify, we'll look at
I mean,
5,
that's what we're looking at.
at 4:30, maybe they can flex to 4:45,
That's fine,
maybe, I'll see, but I'll let you know.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll send out the reminder, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, anything further on that matter at this point?
No, sir.
Okay, great. The next item would be related to CT meetings in the future and a couple of scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, one I don't think is much of a conflict, we need to be completed by 12:30.
On the 27th?
October 15th.
Oh,
Yeah, 12:3 is the issue.
Didn't we already move the second?
we decided on October on the 1st and the 15th.
December, what do we got for December?
Yeah, December we had, I think it was the 3rd and the 17th.
December is the 3rd and the 17th.
At noon.
So October, if we needed to, gentlemen, would we back that up maybe to 9 o'clock to assure that we would be done? Or do you feel that?
Good, just move the executive, we can leave the room for executive sessions at the end, I would think.
Yeah, let's see how the agenda develops.
What
Okay.
day?
This is October 15th?
October 15th, yes.
Yeah.
Is the Zoom, can we move it, can we meet on the 3rd floor on the on the December meeting?
Not third, if the second floor is a possibility, if,
I think
depending
we
on,
can adapt the agenda to make sure that we cover things we
yeah.
do.
No,
and
not
then-
about the December meeting when this
Oh, the
isn't
December,
available.
oh, yeah.
Why is that what's on the third floor?
So October we have taken care of. The question now is December.
Right, December, Zoom, I could check, I don't know by December, I think, well, it's Brandon, oh, right there.
Yeah, so Dana from CMC actually finished the third floor networking, so we can actually move in there.
So it would be a possibility?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, third floor on the third.
Okay,
Yep,
all right.
oh, thank you.
Now, you're gonna be in Texas, right, Andre?
That is correct. I will be remote on the 3rd.
So it'll be Wednesday, December 3rd, noon time, and the 3rd floor.
You know, actually, when you're in town, you might want to do remote, they're much more efficient meetings.
Thank you
Wow.
for your observations.
Yeah, there's fewer fans, we're down to 2 here, I'm like talking to myself.
It's efficient, but we achieve less, isn't that right, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah,
So-
George left.
Okay,
right.
so in light of the drubbing we continue to take from our friends in the media on transparency, probably not having a live meeting that they don't come to anyway is important.
Yeah, I think you said it about best.
Mhm. Okay, so on the December 3rd, just to clarify the time of that meeting, I had mentioned that I do have a 10 a.m. board meeting, so if we are still able to move to noon time and
Yes.
and to hold it on the 3rd floor, then we will do so accordingly.
Yep, that's the plan.
All right,
Yep, the chair has to buy lunch that day.
all right. It'll be a virtual lunch.
Yeah,
Well, the chairman will be out for that lunch.
yeah.
So we've dealt with the scheduling conflict issues in the appropriate manner. At this point, is there anything else on the administrator's agenda that he'd like to bring up?
I did, I have an an important item that I think, if you'll address it, it's the opioid committee. And the way it's developing, I just feel really strongly that, just to let you know that where my time, I feel, is gonna be headed. Budget is gonna be a monster this year. Having a presentation, developing a presentation to deal with some of the pre-budget issues, conversations with our municipalities, those sort of things. In short, and I've already talked to Grant Manager Dana, Wendy's in the crowd today. She has graciously volunteered, because, yeah, she gets upset when I say I direct her, but anyways, she is willing to take on this task. The group has met her a few times, and, you know, they absolutely love her. She'd be a great addition. She's got just as much, if not more experience with this subject than I. And I would recommend and request that the commissioners allow that she replaces me as the voting member. I will still remain in contact, of course, and you know, have her reporting and whatnot, but the way this committee is now headed, I'm not sure that my time, I'm gonna be able to put as much of my time into it as what's gonna be needed.
That sounds reasonable to me. I would just say, I don't think the committee's had any secret meetings, but I just would
No.
say moving forward that we host the meetings. They weren't closed meetings, they were just not posted. I would say we
Yeah,
host the
the
meetings.
Bangor Daily News report was quite a revelation to me to what we're doing, since it was not consistent with what I think we've been doing.
Right.
It's open, always has been.
Well, you've had limited updates because there's been limited progress. The group has been kind of going in 2 or 3 different directions, and I think we had a great last meeting, which, as many of them have said, is like, this is kind of unfortunate because we're making progress. The ultimate goal everybody can agree on is we need to get this money out yesterday, but they seem to struggle, or we seem to struggle on the process to get there. And again, I think that no intent to be secretive or anything like that. And that, yes, future meetings will be posted. The only reason that they weren't posted, it was discussed early on, was we felt that the group needed to get its feet under itself before, you know, delving into public input. So,
I think
yeah.
if I may, to satisfy the spirit of transparency and open meeting laws, I think we would want to designate somebody who would be responsible to take and prepare some minutes. I don't know if Wendy would be comfortable in that role, and I would leave it to the committee to sort that out, but I think we have an obligation if we're going to do this to have some level of minutes that could be posted so that people would understand what has happened and what may be happening there.
There he is.
Yeah, so I was keeping minutes in the first meeting or two, very, again, very little, lot of discussion. And so I guess shame on me for not having Mary Ann post them. But yes, I think Wendy would have no issue at all, unless there's somebody else on the committee that wishes to do that, but it really should, in my opinion, if it's gonna be released, on the commission's website, then that, it ought to be done by somebody, from the county.
Yeah, and I guess to my colleagues, I would just want to clarify this. Number one, we certainly do want to comply with open meeting laws. Number two, we do want to document what takes place in those public meetings and to post those in the event that members of the public want to come. But another important factor that I think is being confused in this is not an elected body. This is an advisory body to the elected commission. And we will have the final determination on what funds will be allocated to what purposes. They're not going to be like the state mandated commission that gets to make their recommendations and then dispense the money. And if I'm incorrect, I think we need to have a discussion as the commission, perhaps at our workshop, on how those funds will be allocated.
Oh, that's exactly, not only the amount, but I think the commission needs to weigh in on I think they develop some parameters and a process for people to apply for funds. And it looks like it's a good process, but we need to approve that process as well. I mean, that's gotta come back to us and say, is this what we wanna do? And we'll say yes or no, but they can't even go forward with that without running it by the commission.
So that is the plan, and you're absolutely right. This is an advisory committee as it was set up. The laws apply a little differently to advisory committees. But even so, we should still be very cognizant of, being open and transparent. Again, there's no direct or intentional hiding here. But, there is some confusion over, what is, for example, as Commissioner Trumbull just pointed out, a draft proposal or a draft application or anything draft is not available to the public. It has not been reviewed by the commission. So, there's a little confusion over what people have are entitled to, so.
I personally am not going to be stampeded into distributing monies until I understand what the needs of the county are, because the funds were allocated to the county first and foremost and should be prioritized, in my opinion, to the needs of Penobscot County before we disseminate them elsewhere. And that's just stating my opinion on how this process goes. I believe the state opioid commission has a different directive than what we may have yet given to our county organization, and would likely be different than perhaps what the Bangor opioid commission or the Bangor School Department Commission decides to do with their money.
Right, okay.
Does that sync up with you, gentlemen?
I agree. The only other thing I think we did with the ARPA funds, which might be helpful with this too, we did coordinate with the city of Bangor on where we could find collaboration to get more efficiency. So then maybe we have some joint meeting at some point just to talk about the opioid funds with those committees.
Well, the funds that we have here are not going to be anywhere near the level of the funds we had available to ARPA. So these funds are limited, and my focus, as the chairman just pointed out, is these monies are allocated to Penobscot County. The state has its money, municipalities throughout the state that qualify have their monies. These are monies that have gone to the county to address problems in the county, and that is going to be the focus of my attention is the county's needs are gonna come first as it relates to the county, and then we will be open to other recommendations as well. But yes, this is gonna be slightly different than the ARPA funds.
Yes, Commissioner, and so on that point, there are very few municipalities that actually receive their individual opioid amounts. Commissioner Trumbull, just to follow up with that, that's been a conversation about working with Bangor. We have sort of put that out there, start an invite, but it's our understanding that Bangor is still in the starting stages as well. So certainly working together is, matter of fact, I just received an email yesterday from a Bangor organization that is interested in our opioid funds, and I think that's one that itself that would be a collaborative effort. I have two last items. One is that I think it would be very beneficial to the group if you gave them a set amount right now to deal with, or to look to, with the understanding that we're all aware there's more money coming, but an initial amount to work with for two reasons. One, that gives them a parameter, and number two is that will keep some funds on hand for the event of any county needs, as expressed. And lastly, if you agreed, I probably should have a vote on putting Wendy on the board in replacement of me.
That would be the first order of business here.
All right, so would we like to first entertain that motion regarding the complexion of the board?
I would make the motion to replace the administrator with the grant administrator.
Second?
Grant
A
manager.
motion and a second. Chief comfortable with being called that today? Anyway, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. The next item you have asked about an amount. I personally am not ready today to give them an amount, in that I need to see what I would ask the committee to give us parameters of what we anticipate is available if we were to receive the current settlement funds that are allocated to Penobscot County, and what may, and we may not be ready yet because we don't have the final number back from Shana Sachs, but what may be our percentage from the Purdue settlement, because I believe that was substantial since they were a primary causation of this issue.
So I did not expect a decision today. For the workshop, I can certainly
I was gonna recommend this.
give you that information,
Yeah,
and you can go from there. Yeah.
let's have that as
Yep.
a subject of our workshop.
Yeah, or I could even bring it on the 20th.
Update us with the,
Yep.
Okay.
Sound fair?
You're good with that, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think we would want to reflect to the committee our desire to have that collaboration with the city of Bangor. Is there another entity? I think Eastern Maine receives some of these funds, if I'm not mistaken. Or Northern Light, Northern Light.
Not sure, that would require some research.
Okay.
I think I'm aware of Bangor and Orono. I don't know, maybe Brewer.
Okay.
But Orono gave a substantial amount of theirs to Save-A-Life. Recently.
Yeah, perhaps Melissa Doan, through her listserv or one you have, you could put out a distribution and ask any entities in Penobscot County if they receive money and would be receptive to a discussion at some point with our committee on the use of funds collaboratively.
or free.
Yeah, definitely Bangor. I can already assure you the group is all over it with working with Bangor. Or anybody else.
Yeah, and I don't want to exclude anyone, so I think, in the effort to be more proactive on this, now that we are moving forward, we should at least put out a query to others.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
I'm good.
No.
The group is here for the executive session, if you wanna go through the warrants and.
Yeah, I want to do item J. I'd entertain a motion on approval of the warrants.
I move that we approve the warrants under item J of August 6th.
Okay?
Second?
Second. I have a motion to second. Further discussion on the warrants for today. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. It is now a point where we have some executive sessions. I believe we have a couple of personnel matters, a contractual matter, and acquisition of property. We'll take them in perhaps a different order than that, since we have some guests that have arrived. Is that the pleasure of the commission? If so, I'd entertain a motion regarding executive session.
I'd make motion, we go into executive session for acquisition of real property under Title I, Section 406, 405.
Second?
All right, I have a motion second. Just clarifying with the administrator, we have two of those personnel matters that may be deferred to a later date.
They are deferred. Items K and L are deferred to another meeting. After we finish up with this one, I would like to have a quick executive session on item M with the contractual that relates to the broker. The
Understood.
insurance broker.
Okay, so we would have two or are you saying there's two contractual matters and acquisition of property, or we would cover them both in M?
No, one is acquisition of property is the letter N as in Nancy, and letter M
Contractual.
is contractual.
Okay. All
We'll
right.
just deal with the property first while they're here.
Yeah.
Understood. All right, that is the pleasure of the commission.
Yes.
Okay, I would entertain a motion, a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will now adjourn for a couple of moments and go into executive session.
No, what is it?
I'm just Google for executive.
Those seats can't be too comfortable there, you know what? I'd almost bring your cushion.
Over here.
We haven't really had a chance to say hello.
Randy, you're- I thought-